Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Hollywood Rack's Destination 2 bike platform rack here on our 2017 Chevrolet Bolt EV. So the Destination 2 is going to be a very compact, affordable 2-bike platform rack. So if you're looking for a rack that's easy to store pretty much anywhere, like in your trunk, in your garage, it's very lightweight, you can carry it around with one hand, that's what this bike rack is for. So we're going to talk about some of the different specs and measurements because it can't carry all the different types of bikes. Like if you have extremely fat tire bikes or if you have heavy electric bikes, it's not going to be a fit. So we're going to focus on our Bolt EV today when talking about those features. That way you can see how it works with the vehicle and what's the best fit for you. Now this bike rack does not tilt away. So if you want access to your hatch, as you can see here, you would have to take the bike off first. So how is your bike mounted to this rack? We have 3 different points here. So there's 1, 2, those are going to be the wheel straps. Then you have the 3rd, which is our frame mount. So this moves up, down, left, one, right, and around. That way you can carry those bikes of different frame shapes and sizes. So the other bike racks that are similar to this in terms of price are different in terms of design. They usually have hooks that come down, which means that you need to get a frame adapter bar for those step-through bikes, for those women's bikes or children's bikes. This design removes that need. That's how versatile it is. To take the bike off, you start at the wheel strap. So you just press this lever and then you can disengage that strap. So you just lift that strap up, and then Hollywood Racks makes it so you can swing that all the way over. So that's one strap. And here is our 2nd strap, and then swing that over. And then we're going to go over here to the frame. So depending on your different bikes, it can be kind of tricky. I kind of hold the bike with my one arm as I disengage it with the other arm, making sure to support the bike so it doesn't tilt back towards our bolt. Once that strap is released, all I need to do is just kind of tilt it over, and then we just bring it over that mast. Nice and easy. With the bike out of the way, we can take a closer look here at our bike rack. So notice the way our cradles are designed kind of like wings, and that means you can move these straps back and forth. You can even move them along the cradle to accommodate those different wheelbases. The maximum wheelbase you can carry with this is going to be up to 48 inches. You also have this rubber cushion on the strap. Get that centered on your wheel to add traction as well as to protect those rims. So make sure to put those straps away even when your bike is not on there. That way they're not flopping around as you drive around. They last a little bit longer. Those straps can carry tire widths of up to 3 inches wide. So if you have extra fat bike tires, probably not going to be the best fit for you. Also, if you have bikes that weigh over 35 pounds, then that's going to be the weight limit for this bike rack. So extra heavy electric bikes, you might be interested in something else like the Hollywood Rack's Destination E. Similar design, a lot more weight capacity. With the bike off of our bike rack, can we now open up our hatch? And yes, we can. We have plenty of clearance between our hatch and our mast. This goes all the way up. We can now reach into our trunk and grab our bags, our helmets, our waters without having to take the bike rack off. It was kind of a bummer that we had to take the bike off itself, so a little bit of a hassle, so keep that in mind when you're planning your trip. Now we're going to fold down this mast. To do so, you rotate this knob here. That allows you to rotate this stand and then tighten that back down as you tilt this mast down. So you have different options here. You could either use your strap on your frame mount, or you can use the strap on your cradles in order to secure the mast. Whichever one you pick or whichever one works better for you, just try to rotate them around a little bit. That way not one strap is taking all that work. So even though this is a compact bike rack, it's still going to add some length to the back of your Chevy Bolt EV. So measuring from our bumper to the end of the rack by the nice white reflectors, it sits at 24 inches or exactly 2 feet. That's a measurement to keep in mind when you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a tight spot. Since you already have a very compact car, you have plenty of space to spare. Now, there is a ground clearance or a clearance that you should be mindful of, and that is ground clearance. So where our hitch sits is going to be from our shank to the ground 9.5 inches, so not that much. Compare that to the end of the rack to the ground 14.5 inches. Towards the center, it's going to be 19 inches. When you go up those steep inclines, like those driveways or hills, your front goes up, your back goes down. You want to make sure that you have a good shank rise so your bike sit higher up off the ground. The good news with this is because it's so short, probably not going to be a big issue. Now, what if you're not planning on going out for a bike ride just yet, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off, even though it is very lightweight and easy to store? What you can do is you can fold this rack up. So we have this clip here, just pull that clip out of the way. And then you have this bolt here, so that has a knob at the end. Just rotate that, and once that's out, just let that hang. It has a string. And then fold this up, pop that bolt right back in where you took it out earlier before, and then tighten that down. So this has a thread, and it's very important that you tighten this part down and don't forget about it, because this will help prevent the shake of the rack in the compact position. With the bike rack folded up like this, let's take some measurements to see the difference it makes. Closest point is going to be from our bumper to, I'd like to see where that strap is, and that's going to sit at 2 inches. If you pull that strap in, you'll have 3 inches of clearance, plenty of clearance there. Length now added to the back of our vehicle is bumper to the hinge, 11.5 inches. So, big difference compared to when this was folded down. You'll want it in this position when you're just driving around town, not planning on taking your bikes out, don't want to take up much space. Also, this is the position you'll have it when you store it inside of your trunk. Actually, let's see if we have clearance with it folded up. Yes, we do. So even with this folded up, you have full access to your hatch. But what is it like living with a bike rack behind your vehicle all the time, ready to go? Well, we saw that we were able to open up our hatch with it folded up like this, which is awesome. With it being this short, obviously our rear window is completely visible. Our taillights are visible too. And what's extra cool is our license plate and our backup camera is visible too. It's like you barely have a bike rack on your vehicle, but it's there when you want to go for a ride. So there's different options for your Chevy Bolt EV when it comes to the hitch receivers. If possible, get a 2-inch hitch receiver like what we have here from Eco Hitch, because that increases your options for bike racks. But if you happen to have the class 1 1.25 inch hitch anyways, you can still carry this rack because this has an 1.25 inch shank with an included 2-inch hitch adapter. So that bike rack shank fits right into our hitch receiver. You can see the adapter in there. We use a 3/4 inch socket wrench to tighten that down. We have a lock here at the end. And with all that secured, it creates an anti-rattle effect. What does that mean? Well, even with that adapter there, you can see how as I shake our bike rack back and forth, just to try to simulate that road movement and vibration, I'm mainly shaking the vehicle. That's because our connection is nice and secure. Some other bike racks with that adapter, they still feel a little bit of movement, but you can see here we have a really good connection. Important for a smoother ride for your bikes overall. So my personal thoughts about this bike rack is I think it's a great pair with a Chevy Bolt EV if you don't have, let's say, extra heavy electric bikes or extra large fat bikes, because it's so small, it's so compact, it's easy to store, easy to carry, easy to keep on your car if you don't have other things you want to use with your hitch. So for that reason, if you are carrying around, let's say, a single bike, or you have a friend tag along with you every now and then, I highly recommend the Destination 2. It's affordable and it checks off all those boxes. Now, if you need to carry more bikes, you may want to check out the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4 bike rack. That allows you to carry more bikes. If you need slightly more weight capacity, check out the Kuwait Sherpa bike rack. That's still compact, but you have a 40-pound weight capacity. And if you need even more weight capacity for your electric bikes, check out the Rocky Mounts monorail. I did videos of most of those bike racks with this vehicle, so definitely worth looking at if you have those different situations. But for most of your bikes, below or at 35 pounds each, I think you're gonna go or have a great time with this bike rack. So this right here was a look at the Hollywood Racks Destination 2 bike platform rack on our 2017 Chevrolet Bolt EV. My name is Evangeline and I hope you enjoyed the journey.